On the bench will be Berkeley Weary and Madden Matthey. South Sevier is coached by Nate and Lance Roberts and Michael Matthey. Again, Stuart Hepworth and I out here in the cheap seats in left field. We'll pause for the national anthem.
That's what we like to hear right there, Rick. Play ball.
Yes, that's been one of my favorite things to do as an announcer, is find a young fan or a parent or a spectator to say the official ball.
Rick, I'm trying to wave our drinks over to my side of the cheap seats over here, but here they come. This is what we like to see, like room service.
We're getting some pop delivered straight to my truck. The umpires looking good today in their red, white, and blue uniforms. And last night we witnessed, I think, what it's all about. A great game for the Rams. They came out with a loss, but a lot of kids showed some heart and played, and they fought back in that game.
Yeah, it was again a really tough loss for the Rams as they led throughout the game, and again in the last inning just weren't able to get it done. You know, we gave up a few too many runs in the top half of the inning and went 1-2-3 in the bottom half to lose by 1 run.
I want you to tell me what we were talking about before. You were telling me a little bit of story, and you were showing your son and having a pep talk with him last night. Tell him what you said.
Yeah, so just to give a little backstory, Cutler's been struggling this tournament, and he's had a rough go a little bit, and last night was the first game that he's been subbed out, and he didn't take that very well. And so after the game, when game was over and he felt like he'd had a poor game and was upset that he'd been subbed out, I tried to explain to him that everybody at some time or another goes through the same thing. And I showed him a story on YouTube about Reggie Jackson, one of my childhood heroes. Reggie Jackson in the 1977 playoffs was in the middle of a major slump, and so his coach, Billy Martin, benched him. And in that game, Reggie Jackson said that he maintained the right attitude and just didn't complain, didn't get upset about it. He just sat on the bench with his bat, waiting his opportunity. And in this game, you know, the Yankees at the time were behind. And in the very last inning, with runners on first and third, Billy Martin called for Reggie Jackson to pinch hit. So Reggie got up to the plate and got a base hit that ended up winning the ball game. Following that at-bat, Reggie went on into the World Series hot, and ultimately in the deciding game of the World Series, Reggie hit 3 home runs. and that's where he got the moniker Mr. October. And I was explaining to Cutler that even great players like Reggie Jackson, a Hall of Fame baseball player, go through slumps and bad times. But if they maintain a positive attitude, they can overcome that and still do great things. It's a hard lesson for kids to learn, especially at 8 years old, but it's an important lesson.
Well told by, I'm going to say it, the legend, Stuart Hepworth. Let's give you a little backstory on these two teams. South Sevier and Richfield have a history. They have played 4 times, I believe. One practice game in Richfield where Richfield was the victor. The next game was in the Father's Day tournament in Richfield, and Richfield again was the victor. But there's a famous saying in sports, I don't know if it's zeroed in on baseball, but the saying goes, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. Richfield faced off again against South Sevier in Huntington, Utah in the state tournament, and South Sevier was ready to play that game and got that win. And then Richfield showed some fight in that tournament, battled through the losers bracket and ended up playing in the championship game in the state tournament. And these two teams battled it out, and South Sevier came out with the victory in that one.
Yeah, Rick, it really is tough to beat a good team 3 times, especially when you're both so evenly matched. And so far, neither team has been able to do that. So, and they're going to have to overcome some odds.
So far, the pitcher number 10 for Richfield is having a little hard time finding the strike zone. I think the count is 2-0. Both pitches a little high and inside. That one's low and outside. 3-0 the count. Richfield will definitely want this game. South Sevier also, for the winner, will go on to play tomorrow the number 1 seed, who is Kingsburg out of Northern California. And a line drive, ground ball, foul ball, just out of play.
Yeah, Rick, and I've watched that Kingsburg team play. They are an outstanding team. So the winner of this game, regardless of who it is, will definitely have their work cut out for them tomorrow.
Yes, now from here on out, this is a single elimination tournament, and all the pool play is finished with the seeding. Roberts, again, still a little bit ahead of it. Nick's Roberts up to bat. For the seeding, just to inform everybody, South Sevier has the last and number 7 seed. Richfield has the number 6 seed. As we have a ground ball to shortstop, Nash picks up, gets the force out at second. Number 2 seed, or number 3 seed is Scottsdale, Arizona. Number 4 seed is Taylorsville. Number 5 seed is Hartwell, who we battled against last night. Number 2 seed is Roner Park, Northern California. And the number 1 seed is Kingsburg, California, as Kelton Porter steps up to plate.
Yeah, it looks like Kelton was hit on that one. Let's hope he's all right. You know, sometimes these 8-year-olds wear their emotions on their sleeves, and it's no different when they're hurt. So it looks like he's shaking it off, but I think Kelton will tough it out. He's a tough kid.
Now the bases, the runner on first and second, as Riley Sawyer steps up to the plate. Riley with a pop fly to first base. These are the cheap seats. I thought that was coming straight towards us, Stuart.
Again, I'm right there with you. I thought that was a ball hit to center field, and it ended up just short of first base on the first base line. So obviously we can't read a fly ball.
Speaking of read a fly ball, number 10, Kip Johnson, a friend of my boys, playing center field. He reminds me a lot like Andrew Jones that played for the Atlanta Braves. Yesterday I watched Kip playing center field, and there's a lot of field for these boys to cover. Track down a fly ball to left center, and that kid has some range. And swung on in a strike. Runners now on second and third. Rams looking to get some points here with 2 outs. And a fly ball to the shortstop. Rams leave 2 stranded as Cal Larson pops up to the shortstop.
Yeah, for the South Sevier team, that's not the start we were hoping for. But, you know, that's baseball again. It's time to move on and get some outs. Richfield, on the other hand, is obviously thrilled with that start to this ball game. And we know this is going to be a close game, Rick. We anticipate this being a barn burner, just like a couple of other of our games have been.
And we'll try to get the lineups for you in the outfield. The positions. I believe we'll have Cutler Hepworth here in the left, Kelton Porter in center, Easton Twitchell in right, number 14 Roberts on shortstop. His cousin will play third most likely. Jack Parsons on second, Grayson Weary on first, and one of the leaders of the team, Cal Larson, at catcher. A couple sponsors for you. First of all, we want to thank all these sponsors for bringing your local programming on KTTA. Sevier County Commissioners Ralph Brown, Tudor Ogden, and Scott Johnson strive to represent the residents of Sevier County in the best way possible. They support growth and development of students in all high school and youth activities. Another sponsor for you, Monroe City. Thank you, Monroe City, for hosting this regional tournament. And we want to talk a little bit about all of the activities going on. First of all, I want you guys to know there is a cornhole tournament going on the 24th of July at the Monroe Elementary. You'll check in at 11, and who doesn't love a little bit of cornhole action? Tell us about some of the other events for the 24th that you know of, Stuart.
Well, obviously we have 3-on-3 beginning tonight with the younger kids, and then 3-on-3 tomorrow night with the older. I know we have the milk run. I assume that's Saturday morning before the parade. They usually do a tennis tournament here at the tennis courts. The parade, obviously. Fireworks Saturday night at the high school this year. What else we got?
I'll tell you what, though. I know all of these kids in red jerseys are very much excited because they get to be in the parade. As Sawyer throws an inside pitch to Trig Johnson.
Yeah, absolutely. The parade is a big deal for these 8-year-olds. They're thrilled about being able to ride in the parade this weekend.
Trig Johnson is up first for the Richfield Wildcats, followed by Carter, then Nash and Zander. Trig had a little bit of bad luck yesterday. Maybe some people call it bad luck, some people call it good luck, but I know he got beamed at least twice yesterday. and swung on. Strike 3 for Johnson. Good looking swing, just couldn't connect with the ball. Shout out to all those folks from the Johnson family watching. Great friends of ours. Ground ball to the shortstop. The throw is up and off Weary's mitt. A little high throw, but probably catchable for Weary.
That's one of those plays where the shortstop's kind of rushing to beat the base runner, and it results in a little bit of a high throw in the air. Regardless, it was the base runner that induced that play by putting the ball in play and hustling down the line.
Sawyer for the pitch, and we have a pop up to Easton Twitchell, unable to catch it. Now we have runners on first and second. Treg Johnson, or no, that's number 3 on second. Carter Giblett. Now the Rams in a little trouble with runners on first and second. Swung on strike 1. Good location for that pitch for Sawyer. Yeah, as you were saying, Stuart, I think the biggest battle for these eight-year-olds is to keep their head up. The smallest things can change a team. One thing about Sawyer on the mound is, you know that if he's smiling, he's pitching good. His nickname is Smilin' Riley.
You know, and really that applies to all these kids. When they're smiling, you know that things are going well. And the trick is to teach these kids to enjoy the game, even in the difficult situations.
And we got a glimpse of that as a parent, and just as you take a step back last night, sitting here from what I call the cheap seats last night as the last inning started. Sawyer picks it up and gets the force out at third. Great heads-up play by Sawyer to get the lead runner. We got such a beautiful view from our seats of the baseball players in the foreground with the Monroe Mountain in the background with a rainbow over in the sky. And it's just one of those, for me, it was just a glimpse into like the beauty of baseball and the beauty on earth, you know, and we're all just so grateful to be here playing in this little green valley.
Absolutely. That rainbow last night just kind of typified what this whole week's been like, you know, just great weather, awesome baseball, and a great place to play it.
Also, you know, just so you know, I've been also announcing a lot, so I'm usually at this ball field, and a lot of these visiting teams from California and Arizona and northern Utah have had nothing but good things to say about the way this tournament has been put on, hosted, and ran smoothly. Ball in the dirt. And we have a stolen base. Third baseman stolen, but the first baseman is still standing. So now we'll have runners on the corner. 1 out for the Rams. And we're going to have a play at the plate. Ball gets past Sawyer. Another thing to note, every field is different, and we've played a lot of fields where when they design the field, they'll shorten up that backstop. South Severe's is a little more of the traditional style where the backstop's a little deeper, and coaches just got to be aware. And usually there's not a play at the plate.
Yeah, that's why it's so important for these catchers to try to keep that ball in front of them and not allow the runners to advance in those situations.
I know the Tech fields in Richfield, they've shortened up the backstop, and it's just 2 steps back. So, you know, that's just the glory of baseball. Some fields play to different teams' advantages, and some fields you're not going to have a play at the plate on a passed ball. It's just too far back. I would say in scoring wise, at this age, it's very important to have a good catcher who can stop the ball, because runners will advance first off, and that'll take the force off, and also runners will score in certain situations where if you can stop the ball, you might leave them on base for the 3rd out, as Sawyer throws a nice strike on the outside corner. Up to bat is Jordan Malcolm. Jordan had a player of the game earlier this tournament, I believe. And that's another passed ball.
I think that's strike 3.
Oh, that was strike 3. My eyesight is going bad here from the cheap seats. And the Rams end the inning with a one run deficit. Up next for the Rams will be Cutler Hepworth, followed by Grayson Weary and Easton Twitchell. A little further down is Knox Piper and Jack Parsons.
Hey, honestly, Rick, after 1 inning of play, you know, we'd expect the score to be something very similar to this, a 1-run ball game. And, you know, I anticipate the game going right down to the wire, you know, deciding who wins or loses.
Yes, anything can happen, and teams just need to not get their heads down and stay positive. Just from the body language of the Salsevier running into the dugout after Sawyer gets the 3rd strikeout, I hope they're in good spirits. We're going to try our best to get names to you of these fielders. Stuart, if you want to tell me, if you can, some of these numbers.
Yeah, here in left field, it looks like we have number 11.
Oh, well, I apologize. I may not. Oh, I got a couple technical difficulties. Okay, number 11 is Case Hansen.
Number 10 is in center field.
10 is Trig Johnson.
I'm not sure I can see that far to right field. I know the 3rd baseman is number 5.
That's Braxton Brown.
It looks like number 2 at shortstop.
Nash Mullins.
Pitching is number 3.
Number 3 is Carter Giblett.
Number 1 at second base.
Number 1 is Dylan Rogers.
Number 36 or 35 at first base.
That's Xander Barton, the big kid.
And in right field, I want to say number 9, but I'm not certain on that.
Well, if that is the case, we don't have a number 9.
Well, obviously my eyes aren't working that good then.
All right, we will try to get you who's playing right field. And we have a slow roller. We're gonna have a race to first base, and Hepworth out at first. Now up to bat is Grayson Weary, my son, so I will be high anxiety for the next minute. We have Jordan Malcolm, number 23, is in right field.
You said number 23?
Yeah.
Oh, I was way off.
He's another one of those you can just watch for the long flowing locks as strike 2 for Grayson Weary. I wonder if any of these kids with long hair believe they're Sampson as Weary strikes out on the 3rd pitch. 3 pitches, 3 strikes for number 3, Carter Giblett.
Yeah, so far Carter's thrown 4 strikes this inning, 4 pitches, and got 2 outs. That's pretty efficient baseball right there.
And Twitchell finds the first base hit in the inning and reaches on. Now up will be Knox Piper. And we have a ground ball to third. Bobbles the ball, but picks it up in time to get the out at second. Great play by number 5.
And again, that was a really efficient inning by Richfield, as they only allowed 4 hitters to come to the plate and were able to produce 3 outs. So good defense by Richfield as we head to the bottom half of the inning.
Number 5 on third is Braxton Brown. And I believe, and this is my theory, but one of the hardest positions to play in 8U is third base.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's one of those spots where you have to come up and fire it, or you just don't have time to get the kid out at first base. And so oftentimes they have those kids playing up short, and then they're at risk of having a bullet hit right at them.
Absolutely. It's a long throw for an 8-year-old arm to get it from third to first. Sawyer again on the mound. I don't think we have any defensive substitutions this inning. Let's do a couple more sponsors for you. Snow College. You will find everything you need to succeed in your education at Snow College. With campuses in Ephraim and Richfield, Snow College is rated in the top 10% for community colleges in the nation. Visit their website today at www.snow.edu. Sal Severe throwing the balls in, ready to go. And we have a 1-0 score in the bottom of the second. Number 12 up to bat, Maddox Merchant. He bats 7th in the lineup. I'll tell you what, Stuart, is no 2 games are alike. The last time these Rams played the Wildcats, there was a high-scoring affair, and today we're in the second inning with a score of 1-0.
You know, honestly, I think that's a result of improved play. I think the pitchers are getting better at throwing strikes, and the fielders are getting better at making outs behind those pitchers. So I would expect that both teams have improved greatly, and you're going to see a little bit different game as that ball's pounded deep out the outfield.
Deep. They're going to be running for that for a while as Porter gets to it. We might have a play at third. Twitchell holds the ball, then throws. Ooh, close play at third, and that was a great heads-up play for Merchant. Probably one of the deepest balls I've seen hit in this tournament.
Oh, that was the deepest ball I've seen hit. He really got a hold of that one.
Great hit by Merchant, and he stands on third. Provides the spark the Richfield Wildcats need. Now up, number 5, Braxton Brown. He just made a great play on third. Ultimately, this game kind of settles a lot of things in the bracket because the winner will play the number 1 seed. This is kind of considered, the way I look at it, this is kind of considered a play-in game, and the winner of this will go on to play the number 1 seed from California. Sawyer gets it up and throws to Grayson Weary. Ball goes past, and we're going to run all the way to third on that ball.
Yeah, a little bit of bad luck right there. The ball was hit right back to the pitcher, Riley, and Riley just overthrew Grayson on that play for the error. And, you know, those are the kind of outs you can't afford to give away in these kind of games.
Sawyer had the time. I didn't see how bad of a throw that was, but he probably should have elected to take a deep breath because the runner was already home and just get the out. Now we have another runner on third. And Sawyer throws a strike.
I'll tell you what, though, Riley has been nothing but solid on the mound and in the field this whole tournament. So, you know, those are just one of those little things that happen occasionally to all ball players.
And we have a fly ball to Hepworth over his head. And there's another double. Richfield Wildcats finding the bats today. Well hit ball over the left fielder.
Yeah, Cutler misread that. He came in a little bit before going back, and the ball just got over his head.
And that ball gets past the right side. Again, Richfield having a great inning with solid hits.
Yeah, that's what, 4 really good hits in this inning for the Wildcats.
Absolutely, as Trig Johnson steps up to the plate. Coach Roberts for South Sevier having a talk with Sawyer. Johnson steps up to the plate. Ground ball outside, runner will get to second. Ball 2 inside. Sawyer behind in the count. And a ground ball to the shortstop. And that's bobbled. Going to be no play by Roberts.
Again, I think you look at the body language of our 8U boys out here, South Sevier, and their heads are down, and it's obvious when those plays are hit to them, they're not quite making them, and I think it's because of, you know, that confidence shifting a little bit, the momentum.
Yes, that's a big thing in all sports and all ages. Errors seem to multiply, hits seem to multiply. And the hitter ahead of Sawyer fouls it off. That's Carter Giblett. Now South Sevier struggling with even the easy things. Catches between catcher and pitcher. So far we have a 4-0 score in the bottom of the second. And the pitch goes behind the backstop. 2 strikes.
The hitter's doing a great job right now, just battling with 2 strikes. And it'll be interesting to see how this at-bat plays out. Who's going to win the battle, the pitcher or the batter?
This is Carter Giblett up to bat. He bats second in the lineup. And swung on. Strike 3. It might have been a foul tip, but Larson able to snag the catch.
And good job by Riley right there to come on top of his personal battle in that at bat to come away with the first out this half of the inning.
Now up is Nash. Nash Mullins can hit the ball.
Yeah, I'd say, having watched Richfield play a couple times, this kid is a good little ball player. Hard.
And that pitch missed just a bit outside. Looked pretty close from here. And foul tip over the backstop. As a pitcher, you don't want to give Nash too good of pitch because it'll probably be sent the other way. And it's a fly ball that bounces in the concrete.
Again, Rick, that one looked like it was going to be a fly ball to the outfield to me, and it ended up just over the visiting team's dugout on the first base side. So I cannot read these fly balls at all.
We're going to blame it on my windshield. Watching the game through windshield again, Stuart Hepworth and I enjoying this 87-degree weather in my truck with the AC on. How many people can say that, Stuart?
I don't think you get that very often.
You can't say that. Not many people can say they've commentated baseball games from the front seat of their pickup truck.
I'm just glad you're giving us a good excuse for not being able to tell where those fly balls are going.
And swung on, and that's strike 3 for Mullins.
Going back to the day, Rick, when you and I were playing on the same softball team, you played a lot of third base. I played in the outfield, and I felt like I could read those fly balls fairly well. I'm glad I don't play anymore because I don't think it'd be the same.
We'll blame it on the old age and the eyesight. And that one's strike 1. Sawyer starting to settle down and throw good strikes. Number 36, Xander Barton up to plate. And that's going to be a ground ball to second. Fielded cleanly. Played by Grayson Weary for the 3rd out of the inning.
A good job by both Easton. Was that Easton Twitchell, right?
Yes.
Easton and Grayson to make that play and get that 3rd out to end the bleeding for that half of the inning.
South Severe is still very much in this game, but they need to find their bats. They've been hitting the ball, just not solid and right to players.
Yeah, truthfully, so far the Rams just haven't made a lot of solid contact. They've hit some pop-ups and some weak grounders that have resulted in outs. So let's hope that they kind of get those bats going this half inning. And obviously we're going to get a new pitcher too, so that could change things, as I've said before.
Jack Parsons will be up for the Rams. Then we'll be back to the top of their lineup with Roberts, and Porter. I think the key here, very much important for Jack to get on, to start the Rams off.
I've said over and over throughout the tournament that defensively it's really important to get that first out, and it kind of gives momentum to the defensive team. Well, the same thing happens with the offensive team. You get that first runner on base, it creates that little bit of momentum and gets you off on the right foot, with the bats.
All right, folks, we'll do a few more sponsors for you. Jorgensen's Honda. Jorgensen's is a family-owned and operated business established in 1964. Jorgensen's is a one-stop shop for all your big boy toys and outdoor needs. They service what they sell and will make sure you are a satisfied customer. Give Dennis or Mike a call at 435-896-6408. Find them on 980 South Cove View Road in Richfield. Sevier Valley Hospital, as your community hospital, Sevier Valley Hospital remains true to their tradition of providing high quality, affordable health care with a personal hometown touch.
You know, South Sevier this tournament has lost 2 heartbreaking games where they were ahead the whole game and lost in the end. I'm wondering if the role might be reversed today, Rick.
I hope. South Sevier will need a spark here in the 3rd inning. Richfield will look for number 44 to answer that. Number 44 for Richfield is Bo Barton, coach's son. Looking at Bo throw, this is about the speed that Rams have faced all year. I so think it's important for these kids. Their timing is off on some of these players. I mean, you saw that last night with Hartwell when they brought in that really slow pitcher. Timing is still something they're kind of learning.
Yeah, it's funny how that works. Sometimes the slow pitchers are harder to hit for these kids, and it's all about timing.
The ever so important Jack Parsons steps up to the plate. Rams need him to get on so they can get to the first of their lineup. Parsons, disciplined, does not swing at the ball. I feel kind of guilty complaining about this because they're out there in the 90-degree weather and I'm complaining about the sun glaring off my sponsor sheet in the window.
Yeah, this iPad sitting on my legs is getting kind of hot sitting in the sun, so we've got it real bad right now, Rick.
We're making up for it, though. We'll be pulling extra duty. I'll be after this game as Parsons takes ball 4. 4 straight balls from Barton.
You know, from a strategic standpoint, sometimes you have kids or players take a strike before they start swinging, and I would never recommend that at this age. I like kids being aggressive and looking to hit the ball. But right now, with the pitcher struggling to throw strikes, you know, it's important that these boys swing at good pitches.
Yeah, we've seen it a couple times this tournament where obviously the player will take until he gets a strike. Sometimes that first pitch is the very best pitch as a catcher, knowing when to throw the fastball down the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the pitch I used to like to hit because sometimes you never know if you're going to get a better one. So the first good one I wanted to hit.
And the count evens at, I guess the count is 2 balls, no strikes for Roberts. And another ball. We're going to have a stolen base. It might be a play. Good job by Parsons to take the force off and get over to second. Barton having a hard time finding the strike zone. That honestly is what killed South Sevier last night in their game, is too many walks. And swung on foul ball by Roberts. Barton forcing Roberts to swing, and I believe the count will be full now. And swung on. Strike 3 for Roberts. Now up will be his cousin, Nix. The ball's high. Last at bat, Nix hit the ball but was grounded out to on first. Ball in the dirt as Parson moves his way to third. We've been a couple of ground balls. I hope Parsons is ready to get on his horse and score here.
Yeah, the Rams really need a run in this situation. We need to convert and get that run into home.
1 out for the Rams with Roberts up. And that is strike 2. A little high, but found the zone. And that's strike 2 for Roberts. I thought that was strike 3.
Yeah, it looks like the count's 2-2 at this time. I had 2 strikes as well, so somewhere we were off.
Roberts now needing to protect. A little high.
Ooh, my heart kind of skipped a beat on that pitch. It was close. One of those that sometimes too close to take, but fortunately it was called high.
That's probably the same location of that first pitch that I thought was a strike. And Roberts grounds up the middle, scores a run, and gets past. And gets a single and an RBI for Roberts. Now up, the ever so dangerous Kelton Porter. His dad bought him in the middle of this season a hitting machine, and I'm still cussing myself, and the force out at first, I'm still cussing myself for not buying one of those for my boy. It's a machine where the ball rotates around and pitches unlimited pitches to you, and you just stand there and swing the bat over and over again.
Yeah, my boys have that same machine, and it's interesting. My older boy, last year in his rec league, he never did make contact. He struck out or walked every time up to bat. And with the aid of that pitching machine, his season turned around this year, and he was one of the better hitters on his all-star team. So, you know, that practice is just so valuable.
Riley Sawyer with a great hit up the middle moves Porter to third in scoring position. And they're moving Porter back for some reason.
They must have said he left too early, which surprises me on a hit ball.
Yeah. Porter with the legs. I'd be aggressive here and send him. He's probably one of our fastest runners.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with putting the onus on the defense to make a play either.
2 outs. Larson up to bat, grounder into the dugout. If anything, I would do it right here because Larson is behind in the count. And that will take the force off if Larson gets a grounder. But you and I can say anything because we're spectators.
And it's really easy to coach from the cheap seats.
Grounder back to the pitcher. Bobbled though. We might have a play. Loads up the bases. And Rams starting to show some life. Cutler Hepworth in a big pressure situation with a chance to get some runs here with 2 outs. I'm just putting the pressure on you. I know you're.
Yeah, my anxiety just went up. You know, like I've said earlier, Cutler's been struggling, and this is a great opportunity for him. He couldn't ask for a better opportunity. So let's see if he can cash in.
First pitch is a ball 1. Pitcher being asked to tuck his jersey in. Score is 4-1. Richfield lead. Now we'll resume play. Barton high on the pitch. Hepworth getting nothing to pitch, and we have a play at the plate, and he's out. That ball bounced off the backstop perfectly for Mullins to get the play and take all the wind out of South Severe's sails.
Yeah, that was a tough break for the Rams. Got a convenient bounce back to him to allow him to get that play at the plate. And again, you can't fault the Ram coaches in that situation because it's good to be aggressive. You know, those plays don't happen very often at the plate. This time, it did.
Unfortunately for the Rams, they end of the inning with the bases loaded and only 1 run to show for. And that's the thing too, is these teams are so evenly matched where a play like that may end up being the difference in the game. Now we go to the 3rd inning. Is it the 3rd or 4th?
Bottom of the 3rd inning.
So we will have a new pitcher for the Rams, as the rule allows kids not. That number?
Cutler.
5. Cutler. Hepworth on the mound. And we have Matt and Matthew trotting out here to left field. Berkeley Weary in the game for the Rams in right field. Porter probably still at center.
Kell's moved to 3rd.
Kel Larson at 3rd. Where's Easton?
Easton must have come out. Who's catching?
I think Easton and Grayson came out.
Riley must be catching.
No, gotta watch that first baseman to know exactly. That might be Ray's Roberts on first.
No, Kell's on 3rd. So who's catching?
We'll hope to. Here we are. We're amateurs, I know.
Oh, it's got to be Knox. Is it Piper? Or is it Grayson?
Grayson is pulled out and on the bench.
Well, then my best guess is Knox. I don't see golden locks from Easton.
I think we have. We apologize for our technical difficulties here. We're doing the best with the tools we have.
No, that's Riley catching.
Yeah, Riley Sawyer at catching, Cutler Hepworth pitching, Kel Larson at 3rd, Nix Roberts at short, Jack Parsons at 2nd, Ray's Roberts at 1st, Madden Matthew in left, Porter in center, and that looks like Berkeley Weary in right, but it says Easton Twitchell on Game Changer.
Yeah, that's not Easton. There's no golden locks out there.
Let's get a quick sponsor for you. Sevier Valley Hospital. As your community hospital, Sevier Valley Hospital remains true to their tradition of providing high-quality, affordable health care with a personal touch, personal hometown touch. And Kimball and Roberts CPA wishing the South Severe Rams the best of luck this tournament. A lot of these kids will play baseball today, turn around tonight and play 3-on-3 basketball. Yours and my boys are on the same team and good friends.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun tonight to watch these kids play a little basketball as a change-up.
And Hepworth finds strike 2. Great job by Hepworth painting the outside corner. And Hepworth strikes out the first batter. Now that looks like Malcolm up to bat. Jordan Malcolm. And Malcolm grounds it. Foul ball. So far, Hepworth throwing strikes. Ball one in the dirt. And swung on, foul. Hepworth way ahead in the count. Malcolm needed to protect right here. As a catcher, I'd be setting up way outside, high or low. Count evens, 2-2. This tournament, we've seen a lot of talent. We've seen a lot of teams who have been playing for about twice as long as these two teams. Hepworth gets 2 strikeouts in a row, taking command on the mound.
Yeah, we really have seen a lot of good ball teams that are experienced, more experienced than our kids, and it's been fun to watch.
And just as I look down from my phone, we get a single up the middle. Now batting Brown. Brown had a single and an RBI last at bat. Brown also scored one of the 4 runs for the Wildcats. Ground ball to second. Bobbled. No play. Parsons with the bobble.
It looked like that ball took a little bit of a bad hop on Jack, unfortunately, and he wasn't quite able to make the play, but he did keep it in front of him, so the runners didn't advance any further.
Now we have a runner on first and second for Hepworth with 2 outs. Ball's in the dirt. Sawyer doing a good job keeping the runners, keeping the force on. And swung on, strike 1. Hepworth doing a great job of locating the ball. I've always said in this age, the best pitchers are a little dangerous also.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad thing sometimes to be effectively wild.
Yes, that's a good term right there, effectively wild. But pitchers do need to throw strikes on command. Ground ball to short. He picks it up, gets the play at third, and the Rams out of the inning. Hepworth comes in relief with a scoreless inning.
You know, and that was a really, really good inning for Cutler. He, like I said, he's been struggling a little bit with his confidence lately, and to get him to get through that inning without giving up any runs, that's going to be a big boost for him from a confidence standpoint. And if I remember right, he'll be leading off the next part of this inning. So hopefully that carries over to his at-bat as well.
Yes, the emotional highs and lows as parents and players comes and goes. Now hopefully Hepworth can have that positive spark and get a hit here. Rams again last inning left 3 runners on with a tough play at the plate. And I jinxed myself because I was telling you earlier that most plays that get behind the catcher, usually that Matt kills it and there's not a bounce back.
Yeah, that sounds like the old, this free throw shooter hasn't missed tonight.
Yeah.
As he steps up and misses the next free throw.
I will not be blamed for that, jinxing our team. But actually the first game I was not televised. We played Taylorsville. I was sitting behind the dugout and doing the PA. And if you want somebody to blame for that loss, the Babe Ruth representative says, good job, Salsevier, with let's just hope they don't blow their lead right here. And sure enough, Salsevier ended up with a poor showing in the last inning and lost their lead against Taylorsville.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but in the first inning of that game, we scored a bunch of runs, and I turned to my wife and I said, oh, we got this game. And how wrong I was.
And it's amazing how things can change. Teams generally, I think, are ranked the way they are, but if you look at it, Taylorsville is sitting in the 5 seed, not having to play a play-in game, and we were in the game with them, and now we're here at the bottom seed losing the game currently. But I'm going to make a prediction, Stuart. I think Cutler's going to get a good hit and get on right here.
Yeah, I sure hope so for his sake and also for the Rams' sake. But more importantly to me, I really think that we're going to turn the tide this game and come back and win.
Winner of this game plays tomorrow. And Hepworth let that one go by, ball 1. Great discipline for Hepworth. Sometimes these umpires like that outside pitch. And we can't see the plate from here, but I've been telling my boys to crowd that plate because the umpires like to call that outside pitch a strike. Hepworth fouls it off.
And it looks like his timing was off on that as he lunged to make contact. And I've been trying to get him to step in there and swing hard, and he's just off with his timing right now.
That ball's high, framed by the catcher though. Great discipline by Hepworth. Ball 4 in the dirt for Hepworth. He'll take a walk to first base.
And as much as I'd like to see him get a good base hit, I'll take a walk at this point at any day.
And now Weary up to bat. His last at bat, he struck out. 3 good swings.
And Grayson is due just like Cutler. He seems to have been struggling a little bit of late, and he's capable of really pounding one, so hopefully it happens right here, Dad.
Absolutely. Yesterday, he started to get back out of that slump. I was hoping today would be a good day. He had 2 grounders, one through the left side and one right to the third baseman. Gray was pulled from the defense, but I think he stayed in the DH position. Either that or he re-entered. I think Matt and Matthew will have subbed for Easton Twitchell, and Berkeley Weary will have subbed for Jack Parsons in the batting lineup, at least according to Game Changer. I missed that first pitch.
Ball 1.
Ball 1. Come on, Grayson. Ball 2 in the dirt. Hepworth, expect him on second. On one hand, you're hoping to be an aggressive hitter, but on the other, you don't want him to swing and give number 44 an extra strike. That one missed the catcher altogether, as Hepworth now on third. The count is 3-0 for Weary. Takes the sign from Coach Roberts. And that's strike 1. Grayson probably being given the sign to take that pitch. Now Weary ready in the box. Another nice strike as Weary watches that one go by. Barton now finding the strike zone. Come on, Grayson. Getting a text from my wife to say start praying. And he watches that third one go by. I know he's going to be frustrated with that.
Well, like you've been saying, these umpires have been not afraid to call that outside strike, and that was one of those pitches that was we can't see the plate, but definitely outside as far as the zone goes, and he elected to not take that swing.
Barton now finding the strike zone with 3 strikes in a row. Frustration for Weary as he strikes out twice in this game. Matt and Matthew up to bat in the game for Twitchell. Matthew shuffles his feet but stays inside corner, strike 2. Hepworth on third.
Yeah, and let's hope that Cutler's ready to run home on any pass ball.
And that's strike 2.
Wow, that one looked close too, Rick, and I'm hoping these coaches are telling those boys to protect that plate with those close pitches.
The ebb and flow of a baseball player, and that looked good, but that's outside. Grayson Weary went from being player of the game last game and now 2 strikeouts. Matthew not swinging, ball 4. Now batting will be Piper. Piper was called on last game in the last at bat to come on and get a hit. That's ball high. Piper's got a small strike zone.
Yeah, and that's a tough position to put a kid in the last inning of a game and have him come in as the last hitter. So tough break for Knox to be struck out in that situation and be called on and put in such a hard spot.
Matthew now on second. Piper late on the swing.
And we got 2 runners out there. We really need to get across the plate. Let's hope Knox can square one up right now.
And Piper gets the RBI.
Yeah, great job by Piper in that situation, just putting the bat on the ball and making something happen. And that's the thing about putting the ball in play. It forces the defense to make a play, and in that situation, Richfield was unable to.
We're getting a text that people want to make sure we're doing the bases, the active bases. So we'll try to update that as best as possible.
I've been doing it, I just haven't.
So we've been doing it on the iPad, but haven't been updating it. We're not the best technologically sound people here.
Yeah, that was my fault. I've been doing it all game. I just haven't clicked the right button to show it. So thanks for the text.
Now we got a runner on first and second as Piper with the RBI. Inside pitch for Weary.
Come on, Berkeley.
And Berkeley grounds ball to second. The ball is bobbled. Going to be a play at and he's out. Oh, Berkeley Weary is out, but he gets the bat on the ball, and that moves the runners over.
Berkeley's another kid that's been struggling to put the bat on the ball lately, and he actually hit that ball really hard, so kudos to him. And also, you got to sometimes just chip your hat to the defense for making a good play.
Yeah, I think, was that back to the pitcher, bobbled off his mitt, and the second baseman?
Yeah, possibly. I was unable to see that, but it could very well have been.
And now we have a line drive hit to Trigg, and a Ram gets across the base. They send the next runner. He's going to be at home. We're going to have a play at second. Safe. The ball is dropped. And great base running by the Rams to move 3 runs across and tie the baseball game. And that couldn't have happened. I want Berkeley to know that couldn't have happened if he didn't move those runners into scoring position.
Absolutely. That was what was so good about Berkeley putting a bat on the ball right there. It advanced the runners, and we got a base hit and scored 2 runs because of it.
Who was that? Number 14. That's got to be Nix.
That's, I think, the top of our order again.
We got to give Nix Roberts credit for coming in the clutch. As a dad, I'm pretty proud of my boy, but Nix did all the work. You know, that's Berkeley. He's in a tough situation because he gets about 1 at-bat per game, and it's a tough situation. It's always in the end of the game, and I know he's in his head mentally. He wants to swing and wants to get a good pitch. Berkeley, proud of you, buddy.
You know, it's fun to watch a kid like Berkeley maintain such a great attitude the whole tournament, knowing that that's his role and that's his job. And it was fun to see him come up and cash it in today. I mean, he got out, but again, he advanced the runners, and that's station to station baseball, and it resulted in 2 runs.
Now we have Roberts up to bat. Another opportunity. This is going to be a high fly ball over the left fielder. Rams are going to get another one. Roberts on second, headed to third. Wild throw, but the shortstop keeps him at second. And now the Rams are in the lead.
And the momentum has definitely shifted. Boy, the Rams are bouncing up and down and excited, and Richfield looks to be the team that's a little bit nervous at this point.
Is that Kelton Porter?
Yes, Kelton Porter up to bat.
Porter, a dangerous batter. He can put the bat on the ball. What did he do last at bat? I'll get that for you.
If I remember correctly, Rick, Kelton hit a little pop-up last at bat and got out.
Okay. Kelton is 0 for 1 in the game. This is their second at bat. A lot of these kids are starting to find their rhythm now. Got a text in all caps locks from my sweet wife. In caps locks. He hit the ball, she said.
You know, I've had a lot of conversations with your wife throughout the year, and I've told her several times that all it takes is one time of something positive to happen for a kid to get confident, and that might be what's happening right now with Berkeley.
And we're going to have a play at the plate. This one's close. And he's called out. Twice the catcher, Mullins, has hustled back. But the damage is done, folks. We now are back in this ball game, and South Sevier with the lead. Looking for Richfield to answer back. Quite a fun ball game to watch. My anxiety is at level 9.
Yes, mine as well. You know, we're up by 1 heading into the bottom half of the 4th inning, and unless I'm mistaken, Cutler's going to head out to pitch one more inning, and it's going to be important for these pitchers now, both sides, to get out, because like I've said this whole game, this is going to go to the wire most likely, and it's all going to come down to which defense plays the best ball in the end.
And look at Hepworth as he comes running to the mound. You can tell by body language, and just as a spectator, he's ready to go. Running past him also, Madden Matthey. He's been in the same situation as Berkeley, sitting the bench a lot of the time and asked to come in high pressure situations. Madden will be in left, Porter again in center, Weary in right. And they're going to make that sub right now. Piper's going to get in right field. Weary's going to come out. Let's see, we might be the exact same in the infield though.
Yeah, I think everything else looks the same. That's the only change they've made. And, you know, talking about Madden did a good job last inning as well. He ushered a walk, if I remember correctly, and was able to come around and score. So, you know, Madden did his job in his limited playing time this game as well.
I better correct you. There is a change, and I can only recognize this because he's my boy who's back on first, Grayson Weary. And sometimes as a coach, you think about that, a kid in a slump, force them, don't pull them out, force them to make a play defensively and build their confidence that way.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's something that's sometimes hard to do as a coach, but it's important. You know, when you pull a kid for making that mistake, sometimes that wrecks confidence, and it's kind of like getting bucked off a horse. You know, the old rule is you get bucked off a horse, you got to get right back on. And I'm the type that never rides horses because I don't want to be bucked off in the first place. But these kids, as they make errors, it's important to instill that confidence in them by putting them right back in that same situation.
Yeah, we're seeing Hepworth. The ebb and flows also, you know. I mean, he was pulled yesterday, but now he's the man on the mound. Another sponsor for you, Sevier Valley Oil, is located at 1105 South Highway 118 in Richfield. They have all your fuel, oil, and lubricant needs covered. They also offer propane. Sevier Valley Oil is locally owned and opened to the public. And all the refs are coming in with their hands up. I was reading the stat, but that's ball 1. And that one missed outside. Some of those are the same pitches that our kids got called strike on.
It's hard to tell whether he's calling them high or outside. You don't know what the location is.
That one's inside. Now 3-0. tying run at the plate. We don't want to put that tying run on.
No, this is what I've said before. It's really important to get that first hitter out, or if you're on offense, to get that first runner on.
Ball's in the dirt. Ball 4. Tying run is now on first for the Wildcats. Trig Johnson up to bat. Trig had a grounder through the middle his second at bat and struck out his first. Hepworth in the dirt for ball 2. That's going to be a play at second. Bobbled by the shortstop.
Right now, Cutler's struggling to find that strike zone. He's got to get back on track here and get that ball over the plate.
Johnson, first of Richfield's lineup. He reaches on balls very often. It's a small strike zone. Play at third, and Richfield now has their runner a few steps away from home base. And Johnson being told to take as Hepworth throws one down the middle. Johnson with an opportunity for an RBI here. That's ball barely high. The disciplined Johnson lets that go by. And we're going to have the coach come talk to Hepworth. Give Hepworth a high five and talk to him. Both runners on base due to walks. This is Salseviers' Achilles heel.
Yeah, walks kill you at any level, and right now, again, Cutler's struggling to find the strike zone, and it looked like on that last batter he was trying to aim the ball in there and not throw it, and sometimes you just got to let it loose.
Coach Mullins having a talk with the number 2 batter for Richfield. That's Carter Giblett, I believe. We're getting random texts from people. I'm wondering if that play at the plate was closer than anticipated and fans are getting mad. And a high fly ball to Porter. He's under it. Johnson tags up on third, gets over to third. Great heads up play by Johnson, but also great play by Porter. That was a high fly ball deep, and Porter looked like a professional out there. Now Mullins, he's a dangerous batter, and first base is open if you're playing strategy right here, Stuart.
Yeah, I wouldn't be afraid to put him on in this situation, even though that allows them to get another runner on, but this is a good hitter right here.
Mullins, coach's son, and we've faced him a lot, and he actually did, though, strike out last at bat.
And you never know, he might be in a slump as well and lacking some confidence at the moment. Yeah, that's just the ebb and flow of baseball, like you've said.
And the ball 2 outside. I'm sure Coach knew who was up to bat next after talking with Hepworth. But also, you got to give credit to Carter G for that deep fly ball that's just sometimes the luck of the game. A deep fly ball, but Porter was right under it. And that's ball in the dirt. Smart pitching from Hepworth, not giving Nash much to hit. And ball 4 for Nash. Runners on the corners. You updating that?
Yeah.
Good. Xander Barton up next. Runners on the corners. Tied up ball game, 5-5. And that's out in the backstop, and Johnson gets home for the go-ahead run for Richfield. A seesaw battle for these teams. Now Richfield with the momentum and the lead. That's number 36 up to bat. Let me make sure I know who that is.
Yeah, and again, Cutler's struggling to find the strike zone right now as we have a 3-0 count, but
Xander Barton up to bat. Grounds to second. Play at first, and the ball gets past Weary. Barton now on second. That throw was a little off from Parsons. Weary might have been able to catch it if he came off the base.
yeah, it was a good play by Jack. Unfortunately, the throw was just a little wide, and we were unable to get that out.
In Jack's defense, he has not got a lot of practice time at second. He's mostly been an outfielder, and he's been called upon these last couple games. Also, Grayson has also been called upon to play positions that they haven't normally played. Grounder to shortstop. Look back to the throw, and Weary digs it out of the dirt, but he's safe. Larson, good job looking back, but that's a tough play and a fast runner on first.
Yeah, at this level, sometimes I say let the runner advance, get the out. But, you know, Kel in that situation, he made the right play by looking the runner back, but we didn't get the out.
Now batting Malcolm, and that's a fly ball to right field. And we're going to score another run. And a runner on first and third, with Richfield now taking a 2-point lead. 3-point lead. With the big lefty up to bat. And he takes his hack. I'd like to know who this kid is. He might be a substitution. If you get a number on him, tell me.
Looks like possibly number 2.
It's not 2, because that's Nash. And we have a live play. Live play.
Oh, boy. That was a live ball, and we just didn't make a play.
I think the reaction by the batter sold Sawyer at catcher, and he just saw the batter standing, went and picked it up nonchalantly. We're going to have a talk, though, because that might have bounced off him. The umpires are going to talk here. That might be a dead ball. He might have been still in the box while it bounced off of him.
Yeah, I watched the umpire. He made no indication of a fair ball or a dead ball or anything, so I assumed it was fair, and our boys just didn't react. But they're going to send him back and make him do it over again, and that looks like a lucky break for us.
Okay, this kid's number as he turns. He turned the opposite way. I'd really like to know what kid this is up to bat for the... Some of my friends might text it in for me. This might be Maddox, and he crushed it. He's the kid that crushed it. It probably is that Maddox kid. And that one is strike 3. Kind of a hard decision there, trying to decide whether to swing or not.
Yeah, it looked like he decided too late and swung behind it, but that's a good out for us. Hopefully we can get one more and get out of the inning and stop the bleeding.
Now up is Braxton B. Braxton is also having a great game. He's hit 2 for 2. Line drive back to the pitcher, caught by Hepworth over to Weary to get the third out. And now the pressure is on South Sevier.
You know, it's interesting again, you watch the momentum shifts, and now Richfield's kind of bouncing in and out, and our boys are kind of walking in with their heads down because we now are behind. But you know, there's a lot of ball left. They've got to keep their heads up and their chins up and bounce back and go score some more runs, which they're totally capable of doing.
I don't think there has ever been as much pressure, stress, and anxiety on 8-year-olds and 8-year-olds' parents. I know if you're a parent and watching, you know the feeling. But this is just fun baseball. Great battle, win, lose, or draw for either team here. And we've got a little bit more baseball to play.
And just to remind people, the winner of this game moves on tomorrow in the tournament. Will face the number 1 seed, Kingsburg, which is the Central California team, and that's a good ball club. That team is you know, the number 1 seed. I don't think they've lost in this tournament at all, and you know, whoever wins, regardless of which team, they'll have their work cut out for them tomorrow, and it's going to be a tough move on.
Yeah, and the other thing, South Sevier has played every day in this tournament. South Sevier, with the extra game, elected to pick up the extra game, and they played Southern California yesterday. I say though is you can't run these kids out of energy. This is the 4th day these kids have played.
Yeah, and besides playing baseball, a lot of them are going to basketball camp in the morning and practicing 3-on-3 and then in the evening. So these kids are limitless with energy, and it's fun to see. It's what they should be doing. I keep telling my kids, I'd much rather you be outside doing this than playing the dang Xbox at the house. So
I agree.
I'm loving it.
Xbox is a dirty word at my house. Also YouTube, Fortnite, the show. Those are all things other kids could be doing right now, and these kids are here playing ball. I just want them to know how lucky they are.
You know, and they're making memories that'll last a lifetime right here. That's what they probably don't understand, and only those of us who have lived it do understand. But these kids are experiencing things that they're going to remember the rest of their lives, and so it's important that they try to remember the positive and just let the negative go and learn from it.
Now batting, I believe that'll be Porter.
Yeah, it looks like Kelton Porter up to bat.
We'll get another sponsor for you. Big O Tires has the buying power to bring you great prices on tires, along with oil changes, batteries, brakes, and alignments, and much more. As the first pitch is swung on, grounded in the dirt, they're going to watch that, try to let it go foul. Fair. Foul. They want it to go, at that point you want it to be foul, and you want to pick it up foul. Mullins, the catcher, just watching the ball right on the line.
You know, he made the right play in that situation. They had no chance of getting Kelton at first, and he allowed it to go foul and picked it up in foul ground, so smart play on his part.
And a better hit by Porter, but that's going to be to the pitcher. Porter with the legs, but not in time. As I mentioned, Big O Tires call Troy, Cal, and the entire Big O team. They'll make sure you're taken care of. 208 South Main in Richfield. Phone number 435-896-8473. And Salsevier unable to get the leadoff batter on. Another hard hit ball, but that's to the shortstop. Bobbles it and doesn't make the play. Sawyer reached on air for number 3. Now up is Kel Larson. And strike one on Kel. On his front foot. Might have been a little out of balance there. On deck should be Cutler Hepworth. That's a ball high for Larson. Sawyer on first. Salsevier needing 3 runs. We might be getting close to the time limit. This might be the last inning.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing, Rick. It looks like we're nearing the time limit, and if the Rams aren't able to tie this game up or get a lead, it could be the final at-bats that they get this game.
Larson ducks under that one. Larson grounds back to the pitcher. Pitcher picks it up. High throw, but the first baseman able to make the play. That's Barton on first. Might have had to come off the bag to catch it, but got back down. Kel's been hitting the ball a lot back to the pitcher. Now Hepworth, we already put him in pressure situations to pitch, come in and relieve, and now he's up to bat in possibly the last inning with 2 outs.
Yeah, and he swung at that first pitch a little over anxious when it was in the dirt, and hopefully he can get a bat on the ball and make a good play here.
Rams needing an answer here. There we go. Foul ball. I told you, man, I thought that was coming right to left field.
Yeah, that one looked like it was down the left field line to me over the third baseman's head, and it ended up short of third base, so.
Hepworth with a runner on scoring position, but they need more runners than Sawyer. And that one just a bit high.
Yeah, I didn't like him taking that pitch. That scared me to death. It looked like it might be in there, so fortunate for him. He's got to protect that plate and put the bat on the ball here.
Now he's got another chance. And now he swung at that one in the dirt. And that ends Salsevier's at-bats and might end the ball game depending on time. Salsevier might need to get 3 outs quickly because it's 11:38, and I believe they stop the clock and don't start a new inning after an hour and 45 minutes. So if Salsevier wants an inning, they'll need to find a pitcher in order to get 3 up, 3 down.
And it does look like they're going to go out and start this new inning. Or start the bottom half of the inning. Yeah, so it's still, Salsevier's got to get 3 quick outs or this game will still end.
This game could. Technically they might not, if they run out of time with Richfield leading, they could not even finish the inning. But this week though, Stuart, has been so much work, but also so much fun. You know, we We started all the way back on Sunday morning. Teams would check in, and as a coach right here, and I would put your pitcher on pitch and already have them ready. Say coming down and start the inning. We are losing time valuable for South Sevier.
Yeah, absolutely. The clock's ticking, and if we're going to have any chance at extending this game, we need to move along quickly at this point.
Again, I was mentioning all the activities that's been going on this week for the teams. Of course, we've had baseball every day, but we've also tried to do things for these people coming in and visiting. The first night we had opening ceremonies and a home run derby and a skills challenge. We had last 2 nights ago we played the movie Sandlot in the park, and it's just I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from visiting fans, parents, and family of doing a great job.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It really has been a fun week, and it's been a fun tournament, and it's going to, even finish that way regardless of what happens with the rest of this ball game as some of these other teams will continue to play. And we'd welcome anybody to come down and watch these kids, even if it's not South Sevier, Richfield, play these ball games. There's some outstanding teams here that do a great job.
We'll try to get the lineups for you because I know there is some substitutions. We have Easton Twitchell on second, Jack Piper here in left. Again, Kelton Porter, he's always in center. Kel Larson on third. Nix Roberts on short. Cutler moved from pitcher to first. Grayson Weary moved from first out to right field. And that leaves at catcher Riley Sawyer. Riley, heavy workload this week. Been asked to pitch every day this week and catch multiple times. And Roberts finds strike 2.
Yeah, at this point, I'd have to say that Riley's kind of the MVP of our team, where he carries a big burden defensively as a pitcher and catcher, and he's also one of our best hitters. So kudos to Riley. He's had a good tournament, and he's done a great job, on both sides of the baseball.
Yes, Riley Sawyer, that family breeds, talks, and walks baseball. His older brother Brody is a great athlete. We even used him to come to pitch to our kids in relief.
Yeah, I tease Riley sometimes. Besides calling him Smiley Riley, I call him Riley McFlamethrower because he's such a good little ball player.
Again, Stuart, let's just kind of go through, as a parent, and I'm sure Richfield could do the very exact same thing. Let's just start talking about players. We have over here on third, Kel Larson. Kel has really impressed me throughout the season. I mean, he is so intense in every sport he plays, and last night he was pumped getting up to bat and ended up grounding back to the pitcher. But just something about Kel, I'm just really impressed with how intense he plays the game, and he loves the sport.
He's a confident kid, and it showed, throughout the tournament. But the one thing that's been interesting with Kel is I'd say that Kel is a basketball player and a wrestler probably first, and a baseball player second. And in this tournament, he's really shown his athletic ability as he's begun to shine on the baseball field as well.
Behind him is Jack Parsons. We'll talk about Jack real quick. Jack has sometimes, not got the opportunity, and this tournament, I would say his coming out party.
Oh, absolutely. Jack, defensively, he's made some outstanding catches in the field, and he's starting to put the bat on the ball really well. So Jack is really starting to round down into shape.
Number 24 at short, Nix Roberts. Nix, I don't really always get a good read on him, but he's always in a good mood, and I like Nix. And man, he's hit the ball. That triple yesterday, oh man, that was a clutch hit. And yeah, I love Nix.
Yeah, Nix is one of our better hitters as well, and he's been pounding the ball this tournament. And even this game, I think it was Nix that hit one over the outfielders' heads here and scored some runs for us. So Nix has been a great hitter for us as well as fielder throughout the season.
And you want to talk about growth as we move across the field. Kelton Porter, I coached him also with his dad in league play. Kelton Porter's in center, and I don't want to say this to embarrass him, but when we started the season, just to know how far he's came, we went out to right field to warm up, and Kelton was throwing and stepping with his right foot, and now, I mentioned it earlier, that fly ball, he looked like a true all-star. I mean, like he made it look easy.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point with Kelton that when the ball's hit to him in the outfield, he's going to catch it. It's not a question. It's he's going to do it. That's the kind of player that Kelton's become.
And Twitchell over there on second, Easton Twitchell. We talk about his flowing locks, but I like Twitchell because he has been shuffled around in positions, and he's welcomed just about every position. At some point, he was thrown in at third and really didn't get a lot of practice. And I've said it before, third base is a hard position to play.
Again, not to embarrass him, but my enduring moment or thought from Easton was the play where he hit that ball down the right field line. It was a great hit, ended up being a triple. He gets to third base, and then right after that, he gets caught in a rundown by the catcher on the next pitch, and he was really upset about that. And what he needed to understand is, yeah, he got out, but he just had a huge triple and scored some runs.
Yeah,
so
some RBIs.
Right, he forgot the big play and remembered the most recent one, which wasn't so bad in the big picture of things.
Okay, so I can't brag about my own son, so I'm going to talk about first base and let you talk about Grayson. Cutler is now on first, and again, Cutler was on my City League team, and the improvement that he's made. Cutler also, he's another one. All of a sudden now he's asked to play outfield, he's asked to play first, he's asked to play second, and Cutler has taken it on, and then two nights in a row he's come on, and I mean, he offered flawless pitching in that third inning. Great relief.
I said it earlier, Cutler struggled a little bit this tournament with his confidence, and the thing that he needs to understand is that players go through these ups and downs regardless of what sport it is, and the idea is always remain positive and always believe in yourself that you can do it and good things happen. And so that's all any player can do is, after a bad moment, focus on the next play. The most important play is always the next one, and forget the bad ones.
I'll let you talk about the right fielder.
Yeah, that right fielder out there, Grayson, I love this kid. He's like a little truck out there. Grayson, the one thing that I've seen with him throughout the year is that when he gets a hold of it, he really hits it hard. Grayson is a tough kid. He's kind of like he reminds me of a middle linebacker playing baseball, but the improvement Grayson has made is kind of like what Rick's talked with a lot of these kids. He's played all over the field. He's played in the outfield, he's played on the infield. But the thing that I see with Grayson is that he's such a good hitter.
All right, now we're going to talk about some other kids on the South Severe team, and please forgive us if you're from Richfield and thinking this is all about us, because I know Richfield could do the exact same and compliment every one of these kids and how far they've gone. The next I want to talk about is Knox Piper. Knox has really impressed me this season. Knox has always been able to hit the ball, always, the whole season. And Knox is just a little guy, and he's so aggressive up to bat. Knox is always a good positive spark off the bench too. Sometimes he's off the bench, sometimes he's in. And I'd say for the bottom six of these players, they've always kept a positive head. As a team player, you might be asked to sit the bench, and you might be asked to come in a dangerous situation. But it's important to always have a good attitude, and Knox has that.
Knox is a fun little kid to watch. Again, he's really little out there, but sometimes he's a firecracker. He can really get a hold of that ball as we get strike three to get maybe one more chance to hit.
Followed Okay, Madden Matthey, and then Berkeley Weary. We'll talk a little bit about Madden. And Madden's kind of in the same situation. He's been called on in pressure situations. He's been asked to come in the field at the last game. And Madden's always kept a positive attitude, always bringing kids together in the bench and cheering on his teammates. And then finally, we have one more player to talk about, and it's my boy, so you go ahead. Talk about Berkeley.
Well, first I'm going to say something about Madden. Madden, like Berkeley, both of them, they just maintain that positive attitude despite their role. And that's something that my boys struggled with, but it's good to see that kids understand that there's important roles that need to be filled, and those boys have filled those roles admirably and done a great job this whole season of doing it, and they've done it with a smile. And they've contributed. You know, they come in and get a hit or get a walk or make a play in the field. They've done good things, and that's what's fun to see. And as these kids get better and better every game and you see that improvement, it's just fun, even with those kids that don't get as many opportunities. You know, in Berkeley, we talked about it early in this game when he got the bat on the ball, and I've talked a lot with your wife about it. It's one of those things where sometimes the kids with confidence, they just need that one little positive moment to turn them around. And I would say Berkeley's on that track right now with the hit he got earlier this game, and that despite getting out on that same at bat. But you know, Berkeley, he's just fun to watch. And for me, you know, the moment I remember with Berkeley is him pitching and coming in and doing an outstanding job in a tough situation, and coming in and getting kids out. That was fun for me to watch. It was the first time I'd seen Berkeley pitch, I think.
Yeah, Berkeley's near and dear to my heart. He's a good kid, and again, that positive attitude. He's always been you know, he might not get very much opportunity, but we come home and he's always looking for the positive thing he did, and proud of that. We need to let you know what's been going on, because me and Stuart just been bragging about our boys here the whole time, but truly these kids are just great athletes and great boys also. You know, Salsevier did end up finishing that inning in time to start the next inning. There's an hour and 45 time limit, so we must have started just a little bit late. Grayson grounds that to out of play, and now as Grayson is behind in the count. Again here, Grayson was struggling today. Hopefully he can get out of his slump, get something positive here. Behind in the count. That's a ball outside. Lives to see another pitch. So Salsevier isn't dead. They still have opportunity to score here. They'll need 3 or more. Ground ball back to the pitcher, and he's out. Great job of Grayson getting the bat on the ball. I know he's wanting more. Grayson got an opportunity the opening night to be in the home run derby, and that was one of his most proud moments, as he took second in that derby and hit 2 home runs. And the way we did it, the grass line was the home run, so they had to hit it over the grass line. He had 2 more that were just about 5 feet short. So if those would have been over, he could have won the home run derby. But now Twitchell up to bat. Twitchell gets the bat on the ball, but that's going to be a fly ball to first. Out number 2 for the Rams.
You know, unfortunately for the Rams this game, they've made a lot of contact, but a lot of that contact has been soft, and that's what's happened this inning, where it's enabled the defense to make plays.
And Knox Piper ahead of the pitch. Knox Piper in the exact same situation as he was last night. All the pressure rests on that 90-pound body on his shoulders. But not 90. He's probably
50 maybe.
50 pounds, yeah.
You know, and truthfully, it doesn't come down to what Knox does right here. It's a whole game being played, but sometimes these kids feel that pressure when they're the last hitter or there's only one out left, and it's the unfortunate thing about baseball, but you know, it's something that kids just need to learn to deal with and to hopefully excel in.
Now the pitcher from the stretch. And that ball's a little high, pretty hard to find the strike zone of Piper. Great things come in small packages for Piper. Hopefully he can get a hit here. Ball two framed but inside.
Can you tell who we have on deck over there, Rick?
That might be Berkeley Weary. Nope, that's Jack. Now up, the pressure rests on Parsons. Runner on first, but we need to score in bunches.
Yeah, what South Severe needs right now are base runners. So it doesn't matter how they get on base, we need kids on base.
Jack Parson is 0 for 0 with a walk and a run scored today. Swung on and missed, strike one. Here Stuart and I are complaining because we have to shoo flies away, but it's getting hot outside and these players are probably getting tired in the last of this game. Jack grounds it to third. It's bobbled and we are still alive as the Rams have runners on first and second. The tying run comes to home plate. And we are back up at the top of the lineup with Roberts.
Yeah, and that's when it shows how important it is to put the bat on the ball, as good things often happen. And Jack just hit the ball to the third baseman who was unable to make the play, and now he's standing on first base. Good job, Jack.
And we have a pop-up behind the dugout. Someone texted in and asked if we made sure this is the right inning. I think we're in the 6th inning, but regardless, this will be the last at-bats for South Severe and Richfield if they need it. And Roberts strikes out. Strike one for Roberts. What's the count here?
I think the count's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Roberts needing to protect, and he watched that third pitch go by and called strike 3, and the game ends as Roberts hangs his head and walks to the dugout.
You know, that's what you hate to see is when those kids have a strikeout or a bad play and they feel all that negative emotion in that moment, and they have to remember the good plays. And Reyes has been an outstanding hitter this whole tournament. This one at bat doesn't change that. And so I hope that all those kids on that South Severe team can remember the good moments and not dwell on the negative ones.
Yeah, and this concludes the South Severe Rams season. And you know, I hope we play fall ball, personally.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I hope they keep playing all year round.
Yeah.
I'm a huge baseball fan, and I know these kids will play every sport, not just baseball, so we don't have to worry about them skipping out on any other sport. But I have so much fun doing this that selfishly I hope they keep playing too.
We'll hope to get the players of the game. I'm gonna send a text, see if I can get that information. But congratulations to Richfield for beating South Severe in a hard-fought battle.
You know, not just congratulations, but good luck. You know, I hope that they represent Sevier County well tomorrow, and that when they play this good Kingsburg team from Central California, that they give them a run for their money and maybe even get the upset. That would be even more fun. So good luck to Richfield. I hope you guys do an awesome job tomorrow.
Please forgive me. I'm trying to get information of player of the game. Roll your window down in case we can hear it. But yeah, we want to get the players of the game for this for both teams, and just thank everybody for watching. All right, for Richfield, the player of the game was Jordan Malcolm. And for Richfield, it was Rays Roberts.
South Severe. We got to make sure we make that distinction.
Okay, so our players of the game are Malcolm and Rays. Rays came in the game for some relief pitching, and was he pitching in that last inning that we were?
Yeah, I think so.
So he was the one that had a shutdown last inning with very little time left to continue the game and give South Severe one last chance. And I told you this, and I don't know if this is, I've always wondered if this is just a baseball question or a baseball saying or a complete sports saying, but I tell you what, it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. And Richfield kind of had our number today, and there's a few plays that if they would have gone in South Severe's favor, it might have changed. You know, the one that comes to mind was the bases loaded and the ball bounced off the backstop, and we got that out on third and ended the inning. But some plays go your way and some don't. But just final off, we just like to thank everybody for watching here on KTTA. It's been an honor for me to brag about my kids, and Stuart also. Thanks for having us, and thanks for tuning in.
Yes, thank you. And Rick, it's been an honor to sit here next to you in the red Chev and call these games, so I appreciate it.
And we will sign out.
for these arms to be holding you close to me. There's nothing in this world I won't try. No limit to what I do to make you mine. 'Cause I'd climb right up to the sky. I'd take down the stars just to be in your arms, baby. I'd go and capture the moon. That's what I would do, just to hear you say that you love me. Just to hear you say that you love me. If I could taste your kiss, there'd be no sweeter gift heaven could offer, baby. Oh, baby, I want to be the one living to give you love. I'd walk across this world just to be close to you, 'cause I want you close